إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما.
لوگو سنو کہ زندہ خدا وہ خدا نہیں. لوگو سنو کہ زندہ خدا وہ خدا نہیں جس میں ہمیشہ عادت قدرات نما نہیں. جس میں ہمیشہ عادت قدرات نما نہیں. کیا زندگی کا ذوق اگر وہ نہیں ملا. کیا زندگی کا ذوق.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Of Allah be upon you all. You are watching Sami wa Basir, your number one channel, which is just there to light your souls and bring to you wonderful and good programs that will inspire and strengthen your faith. We want to thank all those people who have subscribed, and we also encourage those ones who have not subscribed. You should subscribe such that we can notify you in case of any lecture that we shall be having. And we also want to encourage our brothers and sisters who have subscribed to this channel that whatever lecture or educative program that you watch, share the link to your friends such that they can also become part of this channel. Today, I am Rashid Nahoho Matselede, your host, and we have something special for you. You know very well that around the globe, as we speak now, we have just 2 days, and in fact 2 days are even much. We are just counting hours, and we are waiting for the inauguration of that blessed gathering in the United Kingdom. That is the annual convention of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community of 2022, whereby Ahmadis all over the globe, those who get chance, they travel to the United Kingdom to participate in the Jalsa Salana, and those who cannot afford, they will stay at home. They will be watching through the Jamaat Ahmadiyya's international channel, that is MTA, to follow all the proceedings. And one of the most important thing, and what Ahmadis are waiting to see, is to see the speeches and the face of Hadrat Khalifatul Masih Al-Hams Ayyadahullah Ta'ala bin Nasir Aziz on their screens at home, and of course to listen to the inspiring and sweet words of our beloved Imam Ayyadahullah Ta'ala bin Nasir Aziz. And now, as a precursor or a preamble to that August gathering, Sami wa Basir Uganda has brought to you a blockbuster program that is a lecture which will be featuring a number of scholars from different parts of Africa. And the lecture, or the theme of the lecture, will be about the history, objective, purpose, impact of Jalsa Salana. We are going to have 4 scholars, as I've told you, from different parts of Africa. And this has been done to prepare the African continent for the UK Jalsa Salana, of which I told you we are just counting just hours to that blessed occasion. We shall have 4 scholars, I've told you. First of all, we are going to have Maulana Ramadan Kabagambe, who is a missionary of Ahmadiyya Muslim community in Uganda, and also the deputy principal of the Jamiatul Mubashirin Uganda here at SETA. And he'll be taking us through, giving us a brief history about the Jalsa Salana. How did it start, and when did it start? Of course, how did the Promised Messiah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, what inspired him to start such a gathering that has evolved up to today, that it has reached on international stage? That will be our respected Maulana Ramadan Kabagambe. And second, we are going to go to the land of Accra, that is Ghana, and we shall be hearing from Murabi Ishaq Yaqub Hilia, who will give us a brief history of the Jalsa Salana. And this, to take you back a little bit, our speech from Maulana Ramadan Kabagambe will be broadcasted in Luganda, and that of Maulana Ishaq Yaqub Hilia from Ghana will be giving us a lecture in the English language, which will also be about the brief history of Jalsa Salana. Then after that, we shall go to the land of Kenya, that is Nairobi, and we shall be listening and hearing from Maulana Saddam Rajab, a missionary of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in Kenya, and he will be concentrating or rotating around the impact of Jalsa Salana. Then lastly, we shall have our main speaker of this program, and that one will be Maulana Hijaz Ahmad, who is a missionary of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community here in Uganda, and he'll be summarizing the history, objective, purpose, and the impact of Jalsa Salana. Dear members, we keep encouraging you that subscribe, you can comment, send in your questions if you have any, and continue watching Sami wa Basir. Right now, as I speak, without wasting time, let's have our first lecture from Maulana Ramadan Kabagambe, a missionary from Ahmadiyya Muslim community, Uganda. As I've told you, he is going to take us through a brief history of Jalsa Salana in Luganda.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم وعلى عبده المسيح الموعود عليه الصلاة والسلام. baganda baffe ne bannyinaze tutuuse ku lutimbe gaggadde olwa Sami wa Basari nga tubatuusaako omusomo ogukwata ku Jalsa Salana. Omuntu mwana wattu ayinza okwebuuza nti twogera ku Jalsa Salana naye Jalsa Salana kye kiki? Kitegeeke bulungi nti Jalsa kitegeeza olukuŋŋaana, ate Salana kiva mu kigambo sal oba ekitegeeza omwaka. Salana ekitegeeza nti ono olukuŋŋaana lwakubaawo buli mwaka. Ate nno oyinza okubeerako n'omuntu yenna eyali akubuuzizzaako oba okuzoganya ng'ennaku zino bwe batugamba nti si nkola mpya mu Busiraamu, is it not bid'a? Naye njagala nkinnyonnyole kaati nti enkuŋŋaana kika kino zizze nga zibaawo n'okuva ku mulembe gw'omutukuvu Nabi Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, nga muno tukiraba bulungi nti mu biseera ebisinga omubaka Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam yali amanyi okujja oba n'ayita basahaba be ne basinkana, kale ne bakuŋŋaana, nga kitegeeza nti baali mu Jalsa. Waliwo ne hadithi tutuusibwako Hazrat Abu Huraira radiyallahu ta'ala anhu bwe yali nga tunnyonnyola biki ebyaliwo nga suratul Jumaa ekka eri omutukuvu Nabi Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, akozesa ebigambo kunna julusan inda nabi sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, nti twali tukuŋŋaanye wamu n'omubaka Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. Kigambo kyakozesa kunna julusan. Wano Jalsa otusobola okugamba nti n'ekigambo kyennyini bw'obanga tokkiriza nti Jalsa yaliwo mu biseera by'omubaka Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, naye ekigambo kyakozesezza Hazrat Abu Huraira radiyallahu ta'ala anhu kiri kunna julusan, nga kitegeeza nti baali bakuŋŋaanye, nga kino si kipya wabula yali nkola y'omubaka okukoowoola n'okukuŋŋaana wamu n'abayigirizwa be wamu ne basahaba be okubaako ne kyabannyonnyola mu ddiini mu ebyo bye baali nga tebategedde, oba okubaako n'obubaka obulala okuva eri Mukama Katonda bwe yali ng'alina okubatuusaako. Kale yali si eno nkola si mpya wabula nkola yali ebaddewo okuva mu bulamu bw'omubaka Nabi Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. Jalsa Salana etandika etya? Kitegeeke bulungi nti Jalsa Salana etandika mu mwaka gwa 1891. Mwana wattu gyali myaka 2 gyokka okuva Jamaat Ahmadiyya etandika. Jamaat Ahmadiyya etandika mu mwaka gwa 1889, nga wayiseewo emyaka 2 gyokka Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad al-Qadiani alayhi salatu wasalam asalawo okuyita abayigirizwa oba abasahaba be abaali nga bamaze okumukkiririzaamu ekiseera ekyo nti batuuke Qadian ku nnaku z'omwezi 27 Desemba omwaka ogwo 1891 basobole okubaako n'ebimu bye balina okuba nti bategeera ebyali bisobola okuba nti bibayamba mu nzikiriza yaabwe. Wano we nkugambira nti yali afunye opposition ey'amaanyi oluvannyuma okuba nti atandiseewo Jamaat Ahmadiyya. Yali avumiddwa mu ngeri ez'enjawulo nga abasiraamu bennyini abaali abamanyikiddwa obulungi nti baali bamanye eddiini, ate nga mwana wattu n'abasinga baali mikwano gye. Take an example, Muhammad Hussein Batalwi baali nga bassa kimu, baali ba mukwano kuba n'okusoma basoma wamu mu biseera ebya wansi nga bakyali bato. Era naye mwennyini mu magazini ye Ishaatu Sunna ye mwennyini agamba nti omuwandiisi wa Barahin Ahmadiyya ng'ategeeza Masihi Maud alayhi salatu wassalam tewali yali amwenkanyi mu kudifendinga obusiraamu, naye olwa obukyayi oba nga Katonda bw'ayagala okuba omuntu we embooko n'aba nti kino ekyokugamba nti Masihi Maud alayhi salatu wassalam atandise Jamaat Ahmadiyya era ye Masihi and Mahdi, ye yakijjamu obusungu ate mwana wa n'atandika okumuvumirira buli lunaku. Kati ekyavaamu Masihi Maud alayhi salatu wassalam ng'alumigamiziddwa ne Mukama Katonda yawandiika ekitabo ekyali kimanyikiddwa nga Asmani Faisla, The Heavenly Decree. The Heavenly Decree yali nga byonna bye yawandiika yali ataddemu akawayiro ak'okugamba nti abo abagamba nti ali ku bulimba ate nga yeekakasa nti Mukama Katonda yamusindise, bajje batuule wamu bafune ba judges from both sides, side eya Masihi Maud alayhi salatu wassalam ne side eyabali abamukaafuwaza. Bafune aba judges abanasalawo nti ono side eno yeri ku mazima, eno teri ku mazima. Abo abantu bajja kubanga bakirizaganyiziddwako ne side zombi. Side eya Masihi Maud alayhi salatu wassalam abantu beenawaayo okuba ba judges bali aba side eri balina okubakiririzaamu nabali bwe banaleeta ne side ya Masihi Maud alayhi salatu wassalam erina okukkiriza bali. Kati abo beba yali entegeka Masihi Maud alayhi salatu wassalam yali ataddewo okulaga amazima g'ekibiina kino n'amazima g'okujja kwa Masihi Maud alayhi salatu wassalam, era okuyita abasahaba be ku nnaku z'omwezi 27 Desemba omwezi ogw'Ekumi mu mwaka 1891 yali kusala mpenda ani anaafuuka memba wa jury, memba eri tiimu egenda okusalawo, era banaakikola batya, ye yali ensonga enkulu. Era kigambibwa nti yayita Maulvi Nadhir Hussein owe Delhi nga kwotadde ne Muhammad Hussein Batalwi, bo yaba mentioninga by name. Apart from those two, okujjako abo ababiri ayina ba peers, sufis ne ba mlawiz, maulavis awalala abali abayivu mu ddiini zaabwe ez'enjawulo n'abayita mu a sort of mubahala. Kitegeka bulungi nti mubahala yenkola Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala jatubuulirako mu surat Ali Imran sura ya 3 aya 62. Awo Katonda wagambira nti both sides, side eri ku kituufu ne side eri yabadde nga teri ku kituufu naye nga yegamba nti eri ku kituufu, batuule wamu basabe Katonda yekka abenga yalina okusalawo nti omutuufu asigale ng'ate omukyamu ali kulimba abenga afudde mu bulamu bw'oyo omutuufu. Katonda nanyini buyinza atugambye mu Qur'an entukuvu surat Ali Imran sura ya 3 ya Qur'an entukuvu aya ya 62 tugambye faman hajaka fihi min ba'di ma ja'aka min al-'ilm faqul ta'alu nad'u abna'ana wa abna'akum wa nisa'ana wa nisa'akum wa anfusana wa anfusakum thumma nabtahil fanaj'al la'natallahi 'ala al-kadhibin. Tikale oyo alikuwakanya kuye nga omaze okutuukibwako okumanya. Kale gamba nti mujje tuyite abaana baffe n'abaana bammwe n'abakyala baffe n'abakyala bammwe n'abantu baffe n'abantu bammwe, n'oluvannyuma tusabe n'obumalirivu, summa nabtahil, n'oluvannyuma tusabe n'obumalirivu. Kale tusse ekikolimo kya Allah ku abo abalimba. Eno aya yemanyikiddwa nga aya eya mubahala, buli omu agimanyi, wabula Masihi Maud alayhi salatu wassalamu yali ayongeddemuko ku bukwakuliza obulala ng'ekyokulabirako okukkiriza okusaba kw'abantu abanaaba nga balondeddwa, okusaba kwa Masihi Maud alayhi salatu wassalamu wamu n'abali abaali bamukafuwaza balabe komiti yali eteereddwako okusalawo omutuufu n'omukyamu erabe duwa zaani za sayidi ki ezinaaba nga zisinze okuba nti zanukulwa, era n'okuba nti balina okukola exegesis oba commentary oba okunnyonnyola Qur'an entukuvu, balabe ani asinga okuba n'obumanyirivu n'okutegeera Qur'an entukuvu, nga kwotadde n'okuba nti bategeere balage ki kye bamanyi ku bintu ebitalabibwa, ilmul ghaib, Katonda byabanga asobodde okuba nti abatuusaako. So oluvannyuma lw'okuba nti ebyali nga birina okuba nti biteesebwawo ku lunaku olwo nga abantu bwe baali batuuse ekadiyana 27 omwezi ogw'E12 1891, Jalsa kigambibwa okusinziira ku byafaayo mu Tarikh Ahmadiyya volume esooka, Molvi Abdulkarim Sahib Sialkoti ye yali omwogezi ow'olunaku era yasoma ekitabo kya Masihi Maud alayhi salam ekyo kyali kimanyikiddwa nga Asmani Faisla, nga ekyo kyali nga Masihi Maud kyali amaze okuwandiika ng'alaga engeri gye banaabanga basalawo omutuufu n'omukyamu, kuba ye yali nga mukakafu era nga mukakafu ddala nti Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yali amulonze okuba nti ye Masihi Maud era Mahdi Mahud ow'omulembe guno, okujjako bali abaali nga bamukafuwaza, olwekyo kyali nga Allah amutuusizzaako. Oluvannyuma lw'okuba nti ekitabo Asmani Faisula kyasomebwa, abaali nga baliwo abasahaba abaali nga batuuse, actually abawerera ddala 75 basobola okuba nti bakkirizaganya nti ani abanga alondebwa era badde kukikola batya okuba nti basalawo omutuufu n'omukyamu. Era oluvannyuma basalawo bonna 75 nga bwe baali bazze okuba nti ekitabo kino Asmani Faisla mangu nnyo nnyini ddala kibaire nga kibeera published, kitandika okubeera circulated, kitandika okutambula mu bantu. Era oluvannyuma baskwa abasahaba abaali nga abazze ku lunaku olwo baali bawerera ddala 75 basobola okuba nti bafuna akachansi ak'okukwata Hazrat Masihi Maud alayhi salatu wasalam mu ngalo, bafune omukisa ogw'okumukwata mu ngalo okufunako ku mikisa gye. Kale olunaku olwo bwe lutyo bwe lwaggwa, era kigambibwa nti abantu baali 75 bokka abayitaba mu lukuŋŋaana olwo, era eyo ijitima eba Jalsa Salana eyasookera ddala mu byafaayo bya Jamaata Ahmadiyya. Era awo wennyini mu lukuŋŋaana olwo Masihi Maud alayhi salatu wasalam yalagira nti olukuŋŋaana luno yadde lubadde lwa lunaku nga lumu, naye omwaka lujja kubangawo buli lunaku, era n'agamba nti kyandibadde kirungi nti lubeerewo buli mwaka era mu nnaku 3 eza buli mwaka. Era ye mu kulaba kwe yasuggestinga era n'agamba nti kyandibadde kirungi lutegekebwe ennaku z'omwezi 27, 28 na 29 omwezi ogw'E12 ogwa buli mwaka, sobole okuba nti abantu bakuŋŋaana ne basobola okuba nti beewulirira ku ilmu, bafuna okusomesebwa ku ddiini yaabwe. Masihi Maud alayhi salatu wassalam yatutegeeza nti kyandibadde kirungi nti buli muntu afube nnyo nga bw'asobola okuseevinga akasente oba okukuŋŋaanya akasente asobole okuba nga afuna obusobozi bw'okutravelinga okugenda okuba nga yeetaba ku mukolo ogw'ekitiibwa obwe gutyo. Era wabanga atandise okuseevinga, atandise okuteeka akasente ku mabbali buli mwezi oba buli lunaku, ojja kwesanga nti ekiseera ekya Jalsa bwe kinaatuuka oja kwesanga nti atambulidde ajja kubanga alinga atambulidde bwerere. Masima Maud atu advising natugamba nti okusanga nti omukolo guno gwa kitiibwa nnyo tulina ogwetanira, tulina okusevinganga okulw'ensonga eyo. Kale awo bwe yagambira nti guno omukolo gujja kubanga gwa buli mwaka, era omwaka ogwaddako ogwa 1892 akitegeke bulungi nti mu nnaku zennyini Masiima Maud alayhi salatu wassalam ze yayogerako 27-28 buli mwezi ogwa Desemba, era omwaka gugwatuuka ogwaddako nabo bagenda ne badda ekadya ne batandika okubeera mu Jalsa eyali ey'enkomeredde ey'ennaku essatu. Kale mu annals za Islam Ahmadiyya, mu byafaayo bya Islam Ahmadiyya gye tuyita bara Jalsa oba Jalsa ennene eyali nga esuubirwamu okubeera nti ya nnaku 3 era nga yali egenda okutandika okubeera ya nnaku 3 era yejja nezaala neze Jalsa mu mawanga gonna Jamaat Ahmadiyya weze nga ewangalira. Masiima Maud alayhi salatu wassalam yatuula ku platform oba giyite stage eyali nga ezimbiddwa nga bakola etosi oba clay eyali ejiddwa mu pond oba ekidiba ekyali awo ekyali kiri kumpi, bajjamu ettaka ne basobola okuba nti bakola platform oba stage. Masiima Maud alayhi salatu wassalam kwe yasobola okutuula mala okuba nti bamala okuteekako carpet n'abanga asobola okuba nti yatuula abayigirizwa abalala basahaba abalala basobola okumwetooloola ne batuula nga bamwetoolodde ne basobola okuba nti bawuliriza ebigambo bye. Olunaku olwokubiri Jalsa Salana yatandika bweti nti speech eyasooka yaweerebwa Hazrat Maulana Hakim Nuruddin radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu nga yali ekwata ku okufa kwa Yesu, era oluvannyuma Hazrat Hamid Shah ye yasobola okuba nti Sayyid Hamid Shah yasobola okuba nti asoma ekitontome ekya kasida ya Masiima Maud alayhi salatu wassalam, era abaali nga bazze bafuna omukisa ogw'okuba nti baginnyonnyoka. Ekyaddako Masiima Maud alayhi salatu wassalam yasoma ekitabo kye nannyonnyola abantu ebikwata ku angels oba ekikwata ku bamalayika ne emirimu gyabwe na bingi nnyo ebibi bakwatako. Ekitabo kye kyali kimanyikiddwa nga Tawdih Maram, Elucidation of Objectives. Awo mwe yali awandikidde ebikwata ku bamalayika era byonna yasobola okubibannyonnyola, era ekiseera ekyo bangi nnyo abaali baraisinze allegation ku kitabo ekyo era nga tebamanyi bingi ebikwata ku bamalayika. Masiima Maud alayhi salatu wassalam bwe yamala okukisoma abaali nga bazze bafuna okumanya okw'amaanyi era ne baddayo nga bategedde ekituufu ekiri ku bamalayika nga basinzidde ku kitabo kya Masiima Maud kino ekimanyikiddwa nga Tawdih Maram. Nako olwokusatu waliwo Majlis Shura yali nga tetekanyisiddwa okuba nti bakubaganya ebirowoozo, era ekyokusooka ekirowoozo ekyasookebwa okulowoozebwako n'okuteesebwako ebirowoozo ekyali kikwata ku ngeri gye banaasobola okutambuzaamu obusiraamu mu mawanga ge Europe ne America, era bakirizagana nti bakole leaflet esobola okuba nti enaayamba okutambuza obusiraamu mu mawanga aga Europe ag'abazungu ne America, era ekyo nakyo basobola okukikola. Bakirizaganya nti bateekeko ne printing press mu Kadian enasobola okuba nga ebayamba nnyo okutwala Jamaat Ahmadiyya mawanga ge yali nga tinaba kutuukamu, era bakusobola okuba nti bakirizagana okuteekako newspaper oba olupapula olw'amawulire olwasobodde okutambuza Jamaat Ahmadiyya n'enjigiriza yaayo n'enjigiriza y'obusiraamu ennungi eri abantu abaali nga tebanaba kuba nti bagitegeera. Era ne bakirizagana nti bateekewo akakiiko akaali nga kalina okupulaningira Jalsa eya buli mwaka, era ne basalawo nti Hazrat Maulana Hakim Nuruddin radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu ye yali ayina okukakiikirira okukacheeringa nga ye yali president oba chairman w'akakiiko ako. Bw'atyo nno Jalsa eyokubiri gye twali tumanyi nnyo nga bala Jalsa ennene bwetyo bwe yakomekerezebwa era yatandika nga etandikawo enkola eya Jalsa Salana eya buli mwaka naye kyali kibi nti omwaka ogwaddako ate Jalsa teyasobola okubaawo olw'ensonga ezitali zimu na zimu. Omwaka gwa 1893 Jamaat Ahmadiyya teyasobola ku organizinga Jalsa Salana naye era ekyo tekyabazagaana okuba nti Jalsa Salana eddamu n'ebyawo omwaka gwa 1894. Kale tulaba nti Jalsa Salana nayo etandika up to now testopinga nga ebeerawo nga buli lunaku nga si mu Qadian wokka wabula Jamaat Ahmadiyya wonna weeri mu ggwanga lyonna Jamaat Ahmadiyya weeri bakola Jalsa Salana nga bwe mbagambye tuba tukuŋŋaana kwejjukanya kuddamu n'okweraba kulaba n'abamembers baffe abapya n'okwagala n'okutambuza omukwano gulina okuba nti gubeera mu Baganda ku booluganda. Batugambye mu Qur'an entukuvu Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala atutegeezezza nti innamal mu'minuna ikhwa, believers are indeed brothers, nti abakkiriza mu butuufu baba baluganda. Kale bwe mukusinkana kuno tuba tusinkanye nga baluganda. Abagamba nti tuba tugenze kukola hijja bakimanye bulungi nti mu butuufu hijja erina ebifo byekolebwamu, si bifo nga Qadian, si bifo nga wonna eggwanga lyonna lyebanga ligenze okukoleramu Jalsa Salana yaalyo. Bingi nnyo bye tusobola okwogera wabula tukitegeere nti Jalsa Salana eno ekoledde nnyo Jamaat Ahmadiyya, etambuzizza nnyo obusiraamu era obusiraamu butambudde okutuuka ne mu bifo bwe bwali tebuwulirwanga nako, naye Jamaat Ahmadiyya etambudde n'etuukayo. Tutegeereka bulungi nti omuntu bw'abanga azze mu Jalsa Salana nga si memba ne wabanga takkiriza Jamaat Ahmadiyya naddayo nga memba wa Jamaat Ahmadiyya naye still endowooza gy'abanga ayina enkyama ku busiraamu egenda ekyuka era be bamu kubagenda okubanga badifendinga obusiraamu obwannamaddala obusiraamu obwa Ahmadiyya nga ffe we tutali. So Jalsa Salana zino zituyamba nnyo okuba nti tutereeza image ey'obusiraamu ebanga egenda esebengerera wabula ne tugitereeza nedda ku mulamwa. Maulana Maulvi Sher Ali Sahib ng'ono nno yatranslatinga Quran ey'oluzungu. Abangi bammanyi nnyo nga Maulvi Farishta. Lwaki bammanyi nga Maulvi Farishta? Yali nga amanyikiddwa nnyo mu tabligh ng'abuulira nnyo obusiraamu eri abantu abaali nga tebawuliranga nako, naye n'atakomaawo. Bwe yali nga alaba nti alemereddwa yali nga abasabira busabizi. Mu kubasabira yali nga ateekamu ebigambo bino ti Katonda wange bano abantu oba omuntu yenna gw'abanga abuulidde Jamaat Ahmadiyya n'atagikkiriza n'amugamba nti nedda, Katonda muteekemu obusobozi, muteekemu obwangu ayanguyirwe okujja okukyalira Qadian. Era abamu ku bantu abayingira Jamaat Ahmadiyya ngono nga ye yabayingiza abamu bawa obweyamu nga bawa obujulizi nabagamba nti bafunanga ebirooto nga Allah abagamba nti kabi Qadian ana towaayi beerako n'ekiseera oje mu Qadian. So okugenda e Qadian bannange, okugenda mu Jalsa kyali kintu kinene nnyo ekyaleetera Jamaat Ahmadiyya okututumuka, ate n'abantu bangi abaali nga bagivuma bwe batuukanga mu butuufu baali balaba obubonero obwali nga bwetadde, obwali nga buli clear, obuforcinga okuba nti bakkiriza Jamaat Ahmadiyya. Era bangi nnyo abakkiriza Jamaat Ahmadiyya mu ngeri eno. Tukimanyi bulungi nti waliwo n'omusajja gwe nawulira eyeeyita Jalsa. Ye yatandika bwe yayingira Jamaat Ahmadiyya yayingirira mu Jalsa era bye yalabayo bye byennyini ebyamuleetera okukkiriza Jamaat Ahmadiyya. era kuba kuolwo n'atandika okugamba nti ye kuba kuolwo yali afuuse Jalsa era amanyikiddwa nga Jalsa. Kale Jalsa si lukuŋŋaana lwa byansi, lukuŋŋaana bya mwoyo, lukuŋŋaana lwa bya mwoyo, lukuŋŋaana lwa kutereeza ndowooza zaffe enkyamu n'okweza obujja n'okuyiga bingi bye tubanga tetunaba kutegeera. Era Jalsa Salana eba ngeri yakutereezaamu enkolagana yaffe n'abantu ba bulijjo. Natandise nga mbagamba nti Jamaat Ahmadiyya bwe tubanga tugenze okusisinkana mu Jalsa Salana, tuba tugenze okusisinkana abamu ku baganda baffe nga family reunion. Twala ekyokulabirako nti omaze omwaka mulamba nga tulaba abamu ku baganda bo naye musisinkanye, emboozi eba nnungi nnyo nga mwejjukanya ebimuyiseemu mu mwaka gwonna. Love, omukwano ogubeera exhibited oguba nga gulagibwa mu Jamaat Ahmadiyya ku Jalsa Salana guba si gwa bulijjo. Sirabangako olukuŋŋaana olulimu omukwano nti omuntu yenna azze, oba musiraamu oba si musiraamu, oba talina ddiini oba muyudaaya, oba ye talina na ddiini yonna gyakkiririzaamu, oba si kwegamba buli ddiini ya njawulo, zonna eddiini zaanirizibwa, naye osanga bonna bamiitinga nga bonna baseka. Tewali lukuŋŋaana mu nsi yonna olwali lufaananako bwe lutyo. Kale luno olukuŋŋaana tulwettanire nnyo, tusigale ng'ate tulukolera ddala. Bebimu ku Khalifatul Masih yazze nga atukubirizaamu biri nti tuyina okuba nti tweyisa bulungi mu lunaku luno olwa Jalsa Salana, ti abali mu Jalsa balina okweyisa obulungi eri abagenyi, kuba eno yemu kwemu gye bayita khamosh tabligh, kwegamba ye tabligh oba okubuulira okutali kwa bigambo. Eneeyisaayo etuukaganye n'omutindo, omuntu okukulabako n'agamba nti goli wa njawulo, kimusikirize okukwegattako mu nzikirizaayo. Igwe oyina bingi byokola, omuntu n'akulabirako neyeekyusaamu, n'akyusa mu nkola gy'abadde akolerako enkyamu. Oyina engeri gye weeyisaamu ereetera omuntu okulowooza nti oba ali ku kikyamu. Eyo ye Jamaat Ahmadiyya. Era bw'obanga ate okuze mu nzikiriza, oli mu Ahmadiyya owannamaddala, oli mu Ahmadiyya omulungi, olina okuba nti olina ku inspiration gy'oyekera abalala nti wakulabako bw'ati agamba nti ono omuntu si wa bulijjo, ono omuntu wa njawulo, kirabika wa Jamaat Ahmadiyya. Tumanyina bulungi nti waliwo abantu abaali nga bayitibwa okuba nti ba Ahmadiyya ne bakijjanyizibwa, yadde nga ne Ahmadiyya tajagala, naye olw'okuba nti ye yeeyisa obulungi weesanga ati kimulabisa ng'ekyo kuba omu Ahmadiyya. Kale nga Ahmadiyya tubanga abantu beeyisa obulungi, era bonna we tuwangalira tumanyikiddwa ng'abantu abeeyisa obulungi. Noyesanga nti omuntu naye akijjanyizibwa nga ffe bwe tukijjanyizibwa wankubadde nti ye si mu Ahmadiyya olw'okuba nti yeeyisa obulungi, kakitegeeza nti akozesa trademark yaffe ey'okweyisa obulungi eri abantu. Eyo trademark ya Jamaat Ahmadiyya, okweyisa obulungi eri abantu bannaffe be tuwangaaliramu. Tukkirize nti tuli banjawulo naye tuli kyekimu. Oli abeera mu Kristaayo, oli n'abeera mu Wasiraamu Musunni, oli n'abeera mu Yudaaya, oli n'abeera mu Buddha, oli n'abeera mu Hindu, oli n'abeera mu Zoroaster. Wegamba bonna ne babanga bonna bakkiriza mu nzikiriza yaabwe. Waliyo n'abagamba nti ffe tetulina ddiini, naye ffenna ne tusigala wamu nga tuli kitole, kuba ffenna twagala kubeera wamu. Coexistence, tulina okubeera wamu nga tukkiriza nti tuli banjawulo naye tusigala nga tuli wamu. Kale obugambo bwange obwo nsaba butuyambe okwekulaakulanya mu mwoyo, era nange nga neekomako ebimu ku bye tuzze nga tukola tuba olyawo tubisuule ku mabbali, ate twezze obujja tutandike okuweereza Mukama Katonda. Wa akhiru daawaana ani alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalaamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, thank you very much. Jazakallah ahsan jaza, and may God bless you. Thank you for that wonderful speech and those sweet words. For those of you who have been following us, the speech was so interesting and so inspiring. He has addressed a number of issues. He has talked about the history of Jalsa Salana. How did it start, and how, in which year did it start? He mentioned that the Jalsa Salana was started by the Promised Messiah. That was in 1891, December, to 29th up to 27th up to 29th. And the number of participants that year, he has mentioned them, there were 75. And he also talked about a number of issues, the objectives of Jalsa Salana, and the background of organizing this Jalsa Salana by the Promised Messiah. Without wasting your time, let's have another lecture. We are now crossing to the land of Ghana, a home to Murabbi Ishaq Yaqub Hilia. Right now, we are going to have a lecture in the English language about a brief history of the Jalsa Salana.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد. أفضل صلواتك وبارك وسلم إنك حميد مجيد. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم وعلى عبده المسيح الموعود عليه الصلاة والسلام. Respected brethren, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah once again. I'm much honored and privileged to be a part of this all-important discussion, which is the Jalsa Salana, its history, inception, and the purpose for which it was established, and also its establishments elsewhere. The Jalsa Salana was established in the year 1891 by the Promised Messiah alayhi salam himself. And the first meeting was held on the 30th of December 1891. The Prophet alayhi salam invited his companions to come meet in Qadian so that they may deliberate and select a number of them to be part of the panel of judges for the challenge which was thrown by the opponents. The Prophet ﷺ wrote his book Asman Faisla, which is the heavenly decree, and in response to this heavenly decree there was a contest which was supposed to happen, and to select the panel of jury it needed some Ahmadis, and then this was what prompted that to happen. So this was the inception, this was the beginning of everything that led down to Jalsa Salana being established as an institution. And so therefore I would like to go to the very roots or the very beginning of everything. The Promised Messiah alayhi salam mentioned that in his book, he mentioned that the main purpose for which people should take bay'ah at his hands is so that the love for worldly stuff, that the love for things which are worldly may become mild or may tone down in their hearts, whereas the love for spiritual and nearness to Allah may be enlightened and may exceed the bounds which already it is within. This was the main purpose for which the Prophet ﷺ took bay'ah. And so, with regards to this, he mentioned that, and the main thing which an Ahmadi would need to do was to strive in attaining nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as such, one needed to discontinue such activities which would make him come within the fold of such people who are going to be those who will be deprived of the hereafter, that is Jannah. And to this with regards to this, he mentioned that to attain this, it is very important, or an essential component of attaining nearness to Allah and the hereafter is his companionship. That people will need to come and stay within his companionship to learn from him, to see him, to learn from his speeches, his words, and also to observe. And these were things that would help build a person spiritually. And he said that so that God willing, by witnessing a clear proof, a person becomes very certain about what he is doing. And so he said, by being in his company, God willing, we might experience, referring to Ahmadis, that we might experience such signs or become witnesses of such signs which will keep away laziness and reduce the weakness in the nature of Ahmadis. Weakness in this sense doesn't mean physical weakness, but spiritual weakness. Laziness to prayer, laziness to engaging in spiritual activities. These were supposed to be calmed down when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts you. And based on this, he said that people needed to be more in his company. And thus, he encouraged more Ahmadis as at then to try and make time to come be in his company. And he also said, through this, a complete believer is born. And the love of Allah is born in your heart. Because when you are in the company of the righteous, definitely your righteousness will also begin to exceed leaps and bounds. And also he mentioned that it is essential that one who does bay'ah at his hands should remain optimistic and should remain conscious of the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will continue to guide and help him to attain nearness to him. This is another very important thing which he mentioned. All these points I'm taking are all extracts from his book Ishtiharat, volume 1, pages 303 and 304. And moving forward, he also mentioned that one who enters the system of Jama'ah, or one who becomes an Ahmadi and does not yearn to meet the Promised Messiah alayhi salam, then such a person should deem or should declare himself to be unfortunate, and that his bay'ah will not be that which is blessed. But then, one who would have the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by performing bay'ah is the one who struggles after which to try and meet the Prophet alayhi salam and stay in his company and learn something from him. This was what the Prophet Messiah alayhi salam mentioned. And also, in all these points I'm mentioning are preambles leading to the first Jalsa and the inception of the whole concept of Jalsa Salana. So follow me and let's see what happened, or how did the Prophet alayhi salam break this whole spiritual institution into existence. Moving forward, the Prophet alayhi salam also mentioned that it isn't everyone who has the strength. Some materialistically they are weak, others physically they are weak, others spiritually they are weak. And for the sake of such weaknesses, people will not be able to make it to Qadian, to stay within his company. And for this matter, he was going to establish, or he was going to start this system that in every year, 3 days are going to be set out. 3 days are going to be set out in every year, within which all friends and all his companions and loved ones were supposed to come together and stay in his company, wherein they would pray together and wherein they would listen to divine and spiritual guidance from him, and wherein they will attain the means of developing spiritually themselves. So this was the main purpose of Jalsa Salana. And this was the very beginning, the inception of the whole thing. This was where it began from. And I would like to briefly mention this. It's really important that we Ahmadis and also non-Ahmadis alike put this to mind, that this is one of the greatest fulfillments of the Prophet ﷺ. It's one of the greatest signs of his truthfulness. And moving forward, I would expound more on this issue, because the very inception of Jalsa was a very humble beginning, and today it has grown beyond the leaps and bounds of India, and all over the world this institution has been established beautifully and is growing strength to strength by each passing moment. Now, moving on, another very important thing I would like to mention is that he also mentioned that it isn't all hearts that are that strong to be able to go through difficulty just to come meet him. And for the sake of this, he, the Promised Messiah alayhi salam, also encouraged that all Ahmadis should at least set out something, some money, and begin to prepare towards meeting him within those 3 days of each year, which he had established. And he mentioned that he said that if the next 27th of December, this meeting was on 30th December, let's keep this in mind. He said, if Allah gives us another 27th December, then this conference is going to begin from the 27th, 28th, and 29th of December, which will be in winter of each and every year. And winter, because during those days, farmers have harvested all their produce, and there is no much farm work, and people are in holidays, and the environment is also very cool and calm, and thus within the subcontinent of India it is winter, and in that cool environment they can peacefully stay together for 3 days to attain nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Moving forward, it should be remembered that in the first meeting 75 people were present, which is then declared later on to become the first Jalsa Salana. 75 companions of the Promised Messiah alayhi salam were fortunate, privileged to be a part of this Jalsa Salana. And in this first one, the book which I mentioned earlier on as Manifest Law, which is the Heavenly Decree, was read out by Maulana Abdul Karim Siyalkoti Sahib to the audience. And this were the proceedings of the very first Jalsa Salana. Now, moving forward to the following year, in the year 1892, the Promised Messiah alayhi salatu wassalam mentioned, when they met on the 27th of December 1892, he mentioned that you should remember that last year he mentioned that if Allah gives the means, that they would organize that, and that some brethren went through so much hardships to be able to make it, but they made it for that Jalsa to come on. And it is mentioned that that Jalsa is referred to the big Jalsa. That Jalsa, which was held in 1892, was referred to as the big Jalsa. The first day, it is very interesting. Here I will now mention that the Jalsa, the humble beginnings of this institution, when it began, it was held in Qadian. It is in history it's mentioned that it was held beside a pond in Qadian, and beside Qadian, and the mud from this pond was used to build the stage of the first or the second Jalsa. And this was the very humble beginning. And today we Ahmadis, we proudly say that Jalsa Salana is one of the greatest institutions. The Jalsa is organized in all its glamour and all its buoyancy and all that. And this is a very great blessing which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent down upon we Ahmadis. And we should always remember the very inception and the purpose for which it came. And thus, if we have this in mind, today that has become a very huge institution where there are so many means of comfort, relaxation, so many things which are there to comfort man. But then we would know that the main purpose for which this institution was organized was for spirituality. And this is something I would like us to keep in mind as we proceed. And on the second Jalsa, the second day, which was the 28th of December 1892, a Majlis Shura was organized. This Majlis Shura was, in today's time, we would say a parliament, but this is for within the scope of the Jama'ah, which is referred to as an association which sets to deliberate on the issues which would lead to the development or the progress of Jama'ah. So delegates or representatives are chosen from different areas within the Jama'at to come together and deliberate on such important topics. And this is what is referred to as Majlis Shura. So it was also organized in that year. And one of the things which is related to our topic today is that Hazrat Maulana Hakim Nuruddin Sahab was proposed to be the first officer in charge of organization of Jalsa Salana, who we usually call the Afsar Jalsa Salana. He was proposed to be the first Afsar Jalsa Salana to steer the affairs of the institution. And also another very important thing which was discussed at this Jalsa, at this Shura, was the importance of the Jalsa. Now, moving on, we should remember these are very important precepts which our founding fathers laid for the Jama'ah to stand on, and it was all on spirituality, and we shouldn't deviate from the course. Yes, though today the means are different, the ease is much more, and so many things are within our reach easily than before. But this ease shouldn't let us forget the main purpose of the Jalsa Salana. And so therefore, the Promised Messiah alayhi salam mentioned that one of the main purposes of the Jalsa Salana from its very inception was for piety and spirituality. And therefore, he mentioned that piety is the utmost, and that within these days, I'll take an extract from the writing of the Prophet alayhi salam, which will enable us to understand actually what the purpose of this Jalsa was. He mentioned that in Ishtiharat, page 303, that is volume 1, he mentioned, I'll first of all take the Urdu extract, then I will translate it into English. He says that Yani Aj ke din ke baad jo 30 December 1891 hai, आइंदा अगर हमारी जिंदगी में 27 दिसंबर की तारीख आ जावे तो हत्सल वसा तमाम दोस्तों को महज अल्लाह रब्बानी बातों के सुनाने के लिए, महज अल्लाह रब्बानी बातों के सुनाने के लिए और दुआ में शरीक होने के लिए इस तारीख पर आ जाना चाहिए, और इस जलसे में ऐसे हकाइक और मारिफ के सुनाने का शुगल रहे जो ईमान और यकीन और मारिफत को तरक्की देने के लिए जरूरी है. He says that after this date, referring to the 30th of December 1891, that after that date, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to grant the opportunity to meet another 27th December, then all friends are requested to come, and the purpose for the coming would be what? To listen to the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also to involve or engage in dua together collectively, and also that on these stipulated dates it is essential that people presented themselves for these two things aforementioned. And he went on to say that in this Jalsa, such truths and such knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are going to be expounded. So therefore the attendees will get the privilege to listen to such things which are going to be a source of increasing, first of all, their iman, secondly, increasing their certainty in their faith, and also at granting them the absolute knowledge which they will need to communicate or to attain nearness with their Creator. That this Jalsa, these speeches, are going to be a fuel for man to be able to attain these very important aspects of man's spiritual journey, which is attaining faith, secondly, attaining certainty, and lastly, attaining the absolute or most convincing knowledge about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I'll break them down. Faith, we know, is the main or major component of belief. Without faith, there's no belief, right? And this, the Prophet ﷺ has beautifully mentioned that by learning these, by listening and following these proceedings, then one is going to get the opportunity to be able to increase his knowledge. And what knowledge? The knowledge about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Secondly, to increase his certainty about what he's doing. So here comes the question once again. We are Ahmadis. Are we really Ahmadis? Do we understand the purpose for which we have signed the bay'ah? Do we have complete conviction in what we are doing? So the Prophet ﷺ mentioned the yaqeen here, that we have that certainty that what we are doing, the path we have chosen and we are treading, is the right path. So as Ahmadis, these are some of the benefits or some of the purposes for which a Jalsa is being organized. And so therefore, if you are to go for a Jalsa without having attained any of these, you haven't participated in Bajama, in congregational prayers, you haven't involved yourself in sessions to listen to the speeches, which will be a source of spiritual development for you. Neither have you attained any knowledge about the existence of God or getting to know God. Then it means that you have lost all the benefits which come with the Jalsa. And so therefore, this mention of the Prophet ﷺ is really an important extra. That's why I decided to pick it in the Urdu and then translate it into English. That these are the purposes of Jalsa Salana. We have physical purposes as well. And I would like to expound a little on the certainty that when you are having so much certainty about a thing, you would stand for that thing even if it means you're giving up your life. The companions of the Prophet ﷺ understood this. And so they did everything. They went through so much hardships to be able to fulfill this and to sit in the company of the Prophet ﷺ. And so therefore, we should keep this at the back of our minds, that the Jalsa is by no means a worldly thing, but rather it's a spiritual establishment. And as I mentioned, that from the humble beginnings of Jalsa, today, in the materialistic sense, it's growing. But spiritually, it is equally growing. But it depends on the path you decide to choose. Whether you are attending the Jalsa to show off your new clothing, to show how affluent you are in speaking, or to show that you have attained some degrees in life, or are you going there to get the avenue to also express yourself as an Ahmadi, to get that spiritual connection with Allah? And Prophet ﷺ also mentioned that there are some other physical benefits as well, which comes with the Jalsa. And I'd like to add just one or two to them. He says that when you go for the Jalsa, during the Jalsa days, it is really, really important that the old converts have the opportunity to meet once again after a long time of not having met. And the new converts will get the privilege of meeting their old, their brethren who they've never met before. So it becomes a source of growing in strength and brotherliness. And also, the Prophet mentioned that the brothers who have passed on, between the last Jalsa and the current Jalsa, it's also an avenue to remember them in prayers and to pray that Allah forgives them and grants them His mercy. These are also some physical benefits which we get as a result of going there. There are so many others, but these are just the two I will mention in addition. So we should remember that this Jalsa Salana is a spiritual institution. It's by no means a worldly institution, not at all. And that is the reason why from the very beginning, Prophet ﷺ mentioned, and I would like to mention it again, I had mentioned it earlier on, that after having taken bay'ah, if you do not yearn to meet him, if you do not have that passion to meet him, then your bay'ah is going to remain without being blessed. But if you want it to be blessed, then you would have to make it a point to try and go meet him. And the question would be raised that, how about we, those who never met him? That is why in his own knowledge, he established this, or he made this proclamation, this announcement of coming to meet him during the Jalsa, meaning that even if he isn't with us, but whoever is to attend these Jalsas is going to find himself as though he went to meet the Promised Messiah. And that blessing of attending the Jalsa, the blessing of having your bay'ah being sealed and complete, is going to be attained. This is the beautiful and very certain knowledge of the Promised Messiah. And this, again, brethren, is another very important thing we need to take, because this is one of the greatest proofs of the truthfulness of the Prophet. But for his truthfulness, this institution that started as a very humble institution, today, look at how big it has become. It is on the whole globe. Everywhere you go where the Jamaat is properly established, they seek to do a Jalsa Salana as per the institution established by the Promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam. And so therefore, we need to keep this at the back of our minds. And as the Jalsa Salana UK is approaching, we should remember that the Promised Messiah alayhi salam established this Jalsa Salana for the sake of reforming ourselves and attaining nearness to Allah. It also enables us to attain one of the purposes of the coming advent of the Promised, which is hukukul ibad, to serve mankind. You get a chance to serve, to be of importance, relevance during the days of justice. Regardless of how weak you are financially, or regardless of how powerful you are financially, in those days you are humbled. You get a privilege to serve. And this was exemplified by the Promised Messiah alayhi salam himself. And in one of the narrations it is mentioned that the Prophet alayhi salam was visited. And when the visitor was to depart, he sent a message that he was to depart. The Prophet alayhi salam asked that he be told to hold on. The Prophet alayhi salam is reported to have taken milk and a cup himself, and he kept some biscuits in his pocket. Then he went to meet this person, and he gave him the glass and filled it with milk. And after he had taken one, he added him some more, and he said he was satisfied. He said, oh, he should take some more. And he said he was satiated. And Prophet ﷺ gave him biscuits that he should keep this on him along the journey. If he felt hungry, he should use this to quench his hunger and proceed. After which he helped, or let me say he accompanied him. He walked alongside this person for several miles. It's reported in Tariq Ahmadiyya that for several miles he walked along this person, and they walked far. And the person said, I can proceed from here. He said, no, a little more, a little more. This is very little from among all what he used to do during the days of Jalsa Salana. Because what? You get the privilege to serve people who have come there, who are not just mere guests. Those guests are the guests of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They've come seeking Allah through the Promised Messiah. So in today's world, you imagine if you get the privilege to serve at the Jalsa, what honor it is. It's as though you are taking the blessing which the Prophet ﷺ has left. He served himself. He did all he could to be of relevance to those who visited him, and he was very particular about them. This is also another importance or relevance of the establishment of this institution. And so therefore, moving on, brethren, we should also remember that apart from the physical and spiritual importance of the Jalsa Salana, it has other very much important relevance which we will not be able to expound on this platform today. But then, let's draw our focus, our lenses back to the current Jalsa, which is to be held in the UK. And before mentioning this, I would like to mention a little about the year the Jalsa started. It was in 1984 that the Jalsa Salana started in the United Kingdom. Initially, there used to be only 14,000 participants, and today we have over 40,000 people participating in previous years, recent years. We don't know how many will be there this year, but several people participate in these programs, just beseeching the nearness of Allah. And so therefore, in this world of technology and modernity, we have no excuse regardless of where we find ourselves. We need to participate in this Jalsa Salana. With the internet, you can access all the websites, all the television stations, and be a part of this Jalsa Salana and partake of the blessings. Else, you are going to declare yourself to be of those who are going to be so unfortunate that their buyer is going to be remain unblessed, which we wouldn't want. So therefore, we need to all come on board, and each and everybody is supposed to try his utmost best. Schedule your time and participate fully in this Jalsa as though you were visiting the Prophet ﷺ. It is there you will find peace, comfort, and solace. And so therefore, I would want to end this by thanking my brethren for inviting me to participate in this discussion. I'm really privileged and humbled that I was given this presentation to be made on this platform. So I would like to end all what I have said with this prayer which the Prophet ﷺ made for the attendees of the Jalsa. He said, anyone who went through any stress, some it might be greater, others it might be lesser. But if you went through any struggle just to be able to attend this Jalsa, he said, Khuda unko jazai khair bakshe, that Allah should grant them the best of rewards. And he went on to say, और उनके हर एक कदम का सवाब उनको अता फरमाए, and that he should grant them blessings for each and every step that they take. And at the end, the Prophet ﷺ ended by saying, Amin, Thumma Amin. That these are the prayers of the Prophet ﷺ to attendees of Jalsa. So if today we are privileged that we are in the world of technology and modernity, and we can seize this opportunity, what excuse do we have? We've heard the history of the Jalsa from 1891, humble beginnings, 1892 onwards, up until today. Now, from that little village, Kadian, where the Jalsa was established, and the first stage of Jalsa was on mud, made from a riverbed. And today we have it on a very huge stage, and the internet has made it much easier, so that we can sit in the comfort of our homes, in traveling vehicles, and just open our phones and listen and watch. What excuse then will we have to say that we do not want to meet the Prophet ﷺ? Because in essence, participating in the Jalsa, as I've mentioned earlier on, Prophet has mentioned that it's like coming to meet him. So going to meet him as he is no more would mean going to that institution which he established on the day he made that announcement, that it was essential for each and every Ahmadi to meet him for his bay'ah to be a blessed one. So let's keep this at the back of our minds. The 5th, 6th, and 7th of this month, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we should all clear our schedules and give time to participate fully in this Jalsa. And hopefully, inshallah, Allah may grant us the tawbah that we have been beseeching from him, and he may grant us the mercy which we have been beseeching him, and he may have mercy on us and grant us our heart's desires, and also enable us to attain his nearness, which is the ultimate, the utmost level any Ahmadi should be striving to get to, and may also enable us to have a connection with Khilafah. These and many more are what we should look towards as the Jalsa days are drawing near. So my brothers, Jazakumullah for this privilege. May Allah bless you. May Allah bless the entire institution. And may Allah enable each and every one of us to be of those who attain the blessings of this spiritual institution. May Allah bless us all. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Amin, amin. Thank you very much. Jazakallah ahsan jaza. May God bless you too. And thank you for those wonderful words. And I hope people who are watching us from home right now, I know it is supper time. Some of you, you're taking your supper. We have just finished our Isha prayer. And I hope you are enjoying. Keep watching, as I've told you, that lectures are coming in. And by the end of this program, I hope we shall be inspired by such words, and we shall have learned a lot. That has been a lecture from Murabbi Ishaq Yaqub Hilia from Ghana, and he has addressed, the lecture was so scholarly, he has touched a number of issues, and just like the previous panelist, that was Maulana Ramadan Kabagambi, he has also told us the background and when did the Jalsa Salana start, and the participants, the objectives, and what does one gain in attending such a Jalsa Salana. Right now, dear viewers of Samuel Basir, we are going now to the land of Kenya. That is, we are going to hear from Maulana Saddam Rajab, a missionary of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in Kenya. And he is going to speak about the impact of Jalsa Salana.
Shaitan Rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, we would like to give my thanks to the Ugandan brothers for giving me this opportunity to discuss about the impact of Jalsa Salana on the lives of Ahmadis, and also how it helps in the spreading of the message of Islam in the world. The history of Jalsa Salana is clear to us all as Ahmadis. We know that in the year 1891, the Promised Messiah wrote one of his books, The Heavenly Decree. And in this book, he challenged the ulema, the religious clerics, the religious scholars, such as Maulvi Nadir Hussain of Delhi, and also Maulvi Muhammad Hussain Batala, who later on, or before this, they had declared the Promised Messiah to be a non-Muslim, only because after he claimed to be the Promised Messiah, he said that, or he put this claim that Isa alayhi salam this Jesus alayhi salam, Jesus alayhi salam had died a natural death just as other prophets had died. And because of this reason, they put this claim that he's a non-Muslim, that this allegation that he's a non-Muslim. So in this book, the heavenly decree, the Promised Messiah alayhi salam challenged them to come forward so that God Almighty should distinguish between these two parties. That is the Promised Messiah alayhi salam and these ulamas, these clerics. Who among these two parties was actually a non-Muslim and a disbeliever? And even before that, he had invited them to a debate, to come and debate with him concerning this issue about the death of Isa alayhi salam, but they didn't show themselves. So he put a challenge. And when he put this challenge in this book, he invited Jamaat members in Qadian on 27th of December, 1891, so that they should come and a council should be made, and through that council, judges should be chosen, or they should come up with judges who will or they should come out with members who will act as judges in this challenge that he put to these Muslim clerics. So when they came, they were with a total number of 75 companions or members at that time participated in this meeting. And we remember that Maulvi Abdul Karim Sialkot read this book and during this meeting. And after just that meeting, the Promised Messiah alayhi salam announced to the members that from that time henceforth, Jamaat members should be coming to Qadian during the winter time, which is always in December. And he put specific dates, that is from 27th, 29th, that they should come, since at that time many people, or we can say many farmers, were not busy in their farms, and also it was time for holidays. So Jalsa Salana, as far as its history is concerned, it was established by the Promised Messiah alayhi salam himself, and it was actually a meeting that was called to make a council that will they will choose judges who will or they should choose members who will act as judges in that challenge he put to the clerics. But then after that, the Prophet Messiah alayhi salam made it as an annual meeting, so that every year at that time members should come and meet with him, enjoy his company. And after that, after many years, we see that according to the history of Jamaat, that it didn't only remain in Qadian, but also other countries. It spread in other countries, and even as we are talking today, even here in East Africa, you have our Jalsa Salana. So that's the brief history I can give about this important event in Jamaat. We would like to take you to back to the conditions of Bayat. We know that everyone who is entering this Jamaat, who is joining this Jamaat, is he goes through these conditions of Bayat, these 10 conditions of Bayat. And we all know, either us or our grandfathers or our fathers, those who first joined Jamaat. And one of the conditions of this Bayat is that when someone is entering Jamaat, he promises that he will put preference to the religion, to his religion, over the world. And I can say that when Jalsa Salana comes, when it is time for Jalsa Salana, actually it is the best time that we Ahmadis or Ahmadis can practice or show their spirit of sacrifice for which they sign this bayat. So during Jalsa Salana, according to my opinion, is the best time that we can practice this condition of bayat, that we will prefer our religion over the world. And we all see, when it comes to Jalsa Salana, either the international one, which is led by our Huzur Adahullah Ta'ala bin Aziz, or other Jalsas that are that occur in different nations where Jamaat has been established. So when I come to the impact of this Jalsa Salana on the lives of Ahmadis, we get that there are numerous ways in which actually Jalsa Salana positively affect the Ahmadis, or they get benefits which are numerous, which are uncountable. One of them is that they get the opportunity of meeting their Khalifa, their spiritual leader, who is our Khalifa, the Huzur Adahullah Ta'ala bin Aziz. And by meeting with the Khalifa, we or Ahmadis get to increase their connection with Allah the Almighty. We know that this connection, we call ourselves Muslims, and we say that Islam is the best religion of all. And one of the signs of a best religion is that we see how that religion connects its followers to Allah or to God. And so that connection comes to be the best when we have one leader who connects us to Allah the Almighty. And as Ahmadiyya Jamaat, we have one leader. So by attending Jalsa Salana, especially the Jalsa Salana UK, which is just around the corner, we know that just after some few days, we'll be having this Jalsa Salana. We get the opportunity to either physically, for those who get a chance of traveling to UK, or for those of us who don't get the opportunity, we get to connect with him through our TV. And this one increased the connection with Allah the Almighty, which is the main purpose of our religion. So they get to enjoy the company, or we get to enjoy the company of our beloved Imam, Adahullah Ta'ala bin Aziz. And we even get the opportunity of shaking the blessed hands of Khalifa, for those of us who get the opportunity to travel to UK. And by, I will say that we've had even different virtual meetings with Huzur, which are, okay, not, we don't get, through virtual meetings, there's no chance of meeting him directly, but we speak to him directly through our TVs. And that effect we get even only through these virtual meetings. We can imagine that effect that someone gets when he meets Huzur and even get the opportunity of even shaking his hand. So one of the impact is that connection, when someone meets Huzur, either through the TV or directly, that connection with Allah the Almighty increases at large. And number two impact to the Ahmadis is that Jalsa Salana gives Ahmadis the chance of practically showing their spirit of sacrifice. We know, as I've just mentioned in the beginning, that we've taken this bayat and we've entered into this Jamaat, and we are being told that once you enter this Jamaat, and we know that we have to put our preference to our religion over the world. And one sign, how will people know that actually we are putting preference to our religion? It's only through practicing. And practicing is by showing that sacrifice. And so Jalsa Salana, as we have seen several years, when Jalsa Salana comes, people leave their jobs, though we know that Jalsa Salana always comes when it is a weekend. It starts on Friday, but still we have some people who go to work during weekends. But then when it comes Jalsa Salana, when Jalsa Salana comes, they sacrifice that time. They sacrifice that that opportunity of getting to their work, but only because of Allah, only because of their religions. So they leave their jobs, they leave their businesses, and they get that time for attending Jalsa Salana programs. And also, one of the impact that we Ahmadis get by when Jalsa Salana comes through Jalsa Salana is by also getting the opportunity of sacrificing not only our time, but also our wealth. And by wealth, I mean our money, especially for those who travel from different countries far away, paying very expensive tickets, or plane tickets to go to UK. So it needs actually sacrifice for someone to leave his business, or for someone to sacrifice his money, paying more than let's say $1,000 only for traveling and go to attend Jalsa Salana for only 3 days. It needs sacrifice. So it also gives Ahmadis opportunity to sacrifice their wealth in form of money in order to go and meet our beloved Imam and attend this Jalsa also. So another impact that Jalsa Salana brings to the Ahmadis, like I mentioned, is that it gives them the chance of participating in different Jamaat works. We see that during Jalsa Salana, either that of the international one, the UK one, or the other ones in other countries, we have different departments in Jalsa, be it the Jalsa department, be it the exhibition department, be it the prayer, I can say the prayer guard department, or the mass feeding department, or the parking department, or the market department. We have different departments in Jalsa. And so Ahmadis dedicate their time, dedicate their even their wealth. They contribute money in order to make these departments to work for all those 3 days. So it gives them that chance of you can see even some of Ahmadis, those who have degrees, and they have I can say they work in big offices like professors, like doctors. But when you go to Jalsa Salana, you cannot differentiate. When you see these Ahmadis, how they dedicate their time, how they work diligently in Jalsa Salana, these different departments, you cannot differentiate between those ones who are low class and those who are high class. Everyone dedicates his time for those all 3 days to make sure that every department is running and Jalsa Salana goes on well. Another very important impact that Jalsa Salana gives to the Ahmadis, actually, when you attend this important venue, important program, important meeting, is that, you know, throughout Jalsa Salana, from the first day to the last day, is that we are encouraged to participate in every prayer, including Tahajjud. And so, by participating in every prayer, maybe when we are in our homes at normal times when we are not in Jalsa, maybe someone will not get that time because of different commitments. But when it comes to Jalsa, because the program has been arranged from the beginning to the end. And prayers, I can say that in Jalsa Salana, high preference is put on prayers, especially. And especially those now, I feel that most of us don't get that time to pray when we are maybe busy in our works. But when you are just a Salana, you will participate in them, and it will give you that practice. You will practice for those 3 days, and when just Salana is finished, you get that many of Ahmadis, many Jamaat members will continue with that spirit of praying, and it will change their lives. And so that is what I can give as far as the impact of Jalsa Salana to Ahmadis is concerned. And about the importance of Jalsa Salana as far as the spreading of our teaching, the religious teaching is concerned, we know that during Jalsa Salana, many speeches are given by different scholars, even given by our beloved Imam for the UK Jalsa Salana. And through these speeches, we get to know more about our religion, what God says in the Holy Quran. That we get the opportunity to, if we were not get that before. Jalsa Salana is the best venue where we listen to those scholars and our beloved Imam, because we are together and we have gone there for that purpose. So there's no chance of someone saying that I've gone for Jalsa but I've not had any speech, because we go there to listen to these speeches which are given, and they are very important as far as our religious knowledge is concerned, and as far as our spiritual life is also concerned. And also, when we listen to these speeches, we get that spirit of improving our lives, improving the lives personally, our personal lives, and also the lives of our family members. For example, when the father who is head of the family goes to UK and comes back, he will come back with the different advices for his family, and we get that through this, many Ahmadi families are improving as far as their spiritual life is concerned. And when the visitors see this, because we go there and we are showing that interest, and we actually concentrate in listening to these speeches, and so those visitors also who we invite to come and also attend, when they see this, they get that effect also. We have had when Uzur Adahullah Aziz is giving the report of different Jalsa Salanas in previous years, when he's talking about the visitors who came and they saw that they were affected too much when they saw the Ahmadis working industriously in their departments, and also the speeches they listen also from our scholars and from Uzur Adahullah Nazil Aziz. And also, and we've had different examples Uzur giving after different Jalsa Salanas, talking about how they were affected by the speeches and the hospitality of the members. So as far as the spreading of the message is concerned, Jalsa Salana is a very important program for this purpose, for Tabligh and also for the tarbiyat of our Jamaat members. So this is what I can give as far as this topic you gave me is concerned. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah ahsan jaza. Thank you very much. We are pleased, and in fact, as I've told you, that Sami Wabasir is here to light your souls, and I feel the sweat and the hotness inside our spirits I can feel that the lectures are really bringing back faith in our hearts. Thank you very much, Maulana Saddam Rajab. May God bless you too. It has been a wonderful lecture, and he has talked about the impact of Jalsa Salana. That is one, those who get a chance to participate in the Jalsa Salana, for example, those who managed during the time of the Promised Messiah to go and attend the Jalsa Salana, they had a chance to meet the Imam of the age and have that companionship with him. And right now, as we speak, those who will get a chance to go to the Jalsa Salana UK, and they will have the chance to meet our beloved Huzur Ayyadahullah Ta'ala bin Nasul Aziz. Secondly, he said another impact of the Jalsa Salana, that it helps the members of the Jamaat to rejuvenate and strengthen their faith. And also it helps, it is a matter of, it helps us to reunite the new converts, and the old converts are also able to reunite again and foster that brotherhood. And he also touched another issue, or the importance and the impact of Jalsa Salana. It's also a means of tabligh, that those people who come who are not members of the community, they get to know about the message of the Promised Messiah, and ultimately some join the Jamaat. And then he also said that Jalsa Salana helps us, all the Jamaat Ahmadiyya, to demonstrate the spirit of sacrifice and dedication practically. You know very well that people participate in different departments, and people sacrifice their money to make sure that the Jalsa Salana is a success. Thank you very much. Without wasting time, we are now, as we are about to come to the conclusion of this lecture, let's go to Maulana Hijaz Ahmad, a missionary of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, who is our main speaker today, and he is here in Uganda. We are going to hear from him, and he'll be wrapping up, giving us a brief history of the Jalsa Salana, purpose, objective, and its impact.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. First of all, I want to welcome all of you in this program. May Allah bless you abundantly. Today I have to discuss on the topic of Jalsa Salana. First of all, I will try to elaborate what is Jalsa Salana. Jalsa Salana is annual gathering which started by Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam in his presence. The first Jalsa Salana which we have, it was 1891. 27th December 1891, we have first Jalsa Salana in the presence of Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam. And it was in the Masjid Aqsa. And it was one day program. But in the same Jalsa, Majlis Shura, they decided, actually they proposed in front of Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, that every year we have to arrange this Jalsa on 27th, 28th and 29th of December. And Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, he accepted that proposal. So next Jalsa, it was in 1892, and that Jalsa called Big Jalsa. As I told you before, that the first Jalsa, it was in the Baitul Aqsa Mosque. But this second Jalsa, they arranged outside, and specially members, they made a stage and they got some mud from the compound and outside the pond and inside, and they built the stage. And Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, he sat on the stage, and the companions of Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, he sit around him on the floor. So this Jalsa called Big Jalsa in Jamaat Ahmadiyya. In this Jalsa, there were 327 members participated. And the first Jalsa, I want to tell you also the number of that, it was 75. And this Jalsa, by the grace of Allah, it was very successful and blessed, and all arrangement, they were done in the home of Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, and Hazrat Amma Jan Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anha, she arranged all arrangements, food and rest. So Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, he died in 1908, and he presented all these Jalsas in his life. But after his life, this Jalsa led by the Khalifatul Masih Awwal Razillahu Ta'ala Anhu. 1946, there was the last Jalsa in Qadian. Hazrat Khalifatul Masih II Razillahu Ta'ala Anhu, he migrated from Qadian to Pakistan, and because of that, Jalsa shifted from Qadian to Pakistan. And Pakistan, they held first Jalsa in Lahore in 1947. But after that, Jamaat got a very nice place which called Rabwa, and they started this big event, Jalsa Salana, in Rabwa from 1948 to 1983. It was blissful event, it was merciful gathering always, and this was the source of tarbiyat and tabligh for the members and for the guests. But unfortunately, government of Pakistan, they forcefully stop us to arrange this Jalsa and refuse to give us permission. In last Jalsa, which was in Pakistan, 1983, there were 250,000 participants were there. And by the grace of Allah, from the different corners of the earth, people, they reached there. And after this mishap and refusal from the government of Pakistan, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih IV, Rahmahullah Ta'ala, he migrated from Pakistan to UK, and Jalsa shifted from Pakistan to UK. In April 1984, there was the time when Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Rabbi Rahmahullah Ta'ala, he participated in the Jalsa of UK, and it was the first time when any Khalifa participated in the Jalsa Salana outside India and Pakistan. And there were 2,500 participants in that Jalsa. But Alhamdulillah, now that Jalsa has spanned, and the presence of the guests is reached up to 40,000, and participants from different countries, they are participating in this Jalsa. More than 100 countries are participating in this Jalsa. So this was the journey, successful journey of Jalsa Salana from Qadian to UK. Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, he has mentioned clearly the purpose of Jalsa Salana. Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, he said that the purpose of Jalsa Salana is to increase one's communion with Allah the Almighty. Second purpose of Jalsa Salana, he said, to pray for those brothers who have passed away. And the third, to meet new members and increase in brethren. And fourth purpose of Jalsa Salana, Hazrat Masih said, to gain and increase in spiritual knowledge. So this is the purpose of this Jalsa Salana. It is not like worldly gathering and worldly programs. It is specially, clearly spiritual program for the sake of Allah. And Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, he has prayed for those people, those they will come to attend this Jalsa Salana. And he has requested in front of God that may Allah bless them in each and everything. He said, may Allah be exalted, be with them, reward them in abundant measure, have mercy on them, ease up for them their circumstances of hardship and anxiety, and eliminate their anguishes and grief. May He grant them freedom from every single hardship and lay open for them to ways of their cherished goals. And this comprehensive prayer, Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, he prayed for the members, those they will come to attend this Jalsa. Even he said, may He be their guardian in their absence until after their journey comes to an end. So these are the prayers which Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, he has given to those participants, those who will come to attend this Jalsa. Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, he said that every person who will see in his life this date, I mean 27th of December, he should must come to participate in this Jalsa. And he should must come to participate in supplication in front of God together. So Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam has put in front of members this desire, this wish that every member should come to attend this Jalsa, and he has to participate in this Jalsa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the one who revealed Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam so many times, so many revelation about this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He informed Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, Yatuna min kulli fajjin amik wa yatika min kulli fajjin amik. And even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He told him, Vasse makana ka. You know, Allah has given him surety that members, people will come to join this Jalsa from different areas, and help of God will come from different areas to you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him, Vasse makana ka, enlarge your house. And there was prophecy that time is going to come when you will get a big number of people, those they will come to join you. But there was again another message was there, that don't become tired to meet them. So by the grace of Allah, now we are seeing from the different areas of the world, people they are coming to attend this Jalsa. Alhamdulillah. Now this number has reached more than 100 countries, and different people, they are coming to attend this Jalsa. So this Jalsa, as I have mentioned, it is source of tarbiyat for the members, as well as it is source of tabligh. So this Jalsa has lot of good memories for the guests, those they come to attend this Jalsa. And especially it has big impact on the members as well as on the guests. You know, this Jalsa is impressing each and everyone. Many people, they are impressed by the discipline of Jalsa, and especially when every member who participate in Jalsa, they greet each other with the smiley face. When they give each other smile, even they know them or they don't know them, it impresses each and everyone. Especially international bath. This is also impressing thing for the members and non-members. One non-member, he told Hazrat Khalifatul Masih, Khamis Aidullah Ta'ala ibn Aziz, I'm not Ahmadi, but when you have that bath, I don't know how I put my hand on the shoulder of the other person and I join your bath. So this has big impact even on members, even on non-members. You know, one lady, she reported to Hazrat Khalifatul Masihul Khamis Aidullah Ta'ala ibn Aziz, she said, I'm very grateful that they have accepted us as we are. They did not force us that you have to do this and that, you put scarf, you put this type of clothes. Before to reach here in Jalsa, she said, I was confused. But when we reach here, now I'm satisfied that they have accepted us as we are. Even there are so many incidents, so many stories which they have narrated in front of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih. Let me read some of them in front of you. Hazrat Hazur said that one guest commented that he observed that as soon as the Khalifa arrives anywhere at all, the crowd of thousands of people immediately falls silent. Nobody needs to tell anyone to be silent. There is genuine respect for the Khalifa. So this is very important thing in Jalsa Salana, which people they realize that Jamaat member, they have genuine respect of Khalifatul Masih. When Khalifatul Masih said silent, everybody is silent. When he speak, everybody listen him. So this is the respect of Khalifa which other people also realize. So Hazur said that a non-Ahmadi guest from Tajikistan, Rahim Sahib, who is a politician, he said, I shall forever cherish my memories of the Jalsa and meeting the Khalifa. One of the guests commented that we have received the true message of Islam, and this is the very message that the Islamic world and Muslims are in need of, so that the reservations people have about Islam are removed. So this Jalsa is not only gathering, this is the source to remove the reservation what people they have against Ahmadiyyat. I told you it's the source of tabligh. What they have in their minds, we can remove with our good behavior and with our good actions. So this Jalsa is not ordinary Jalsa. This is blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and if I say it is under the guidance of God, it will not be wrong. So this Jalsa, you know, what we have commitment with our Khalifa and what we have dedication with him, it is also has a great impact on the others, especially those volunteers, assistants. They are backbone of the management, and every guest in every Jalsa appreciate these volunteers because they have marvelous work. You know, this Jalsa is not 3 days Jalsa only. They work whole year to arrange this Jalsa, and they work whole year on this Jalsa. They just present us this in 3 days, and there's some speeches, but each and everything each and everything they do in other days. So at the end of my speech, I want to request all of you that please try your best to attend this Jalsa. If someone cannot reach there, he must arrange atmosphere of Jalsa in his own home, and he has to watch this Jalsa with his complete family. It is very important, and those they are very busy, they cannot do even this. After that, they have to listen these speeches through the YouTube and other means. This is very important Jalsa. You know, we must remember this thing. Hazrat Masih Maud, he is the one who started this Jalsa. And if I will say that it is initiated by God, it will not be wrong. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is the one who informed Hazrat Masih Maud through his revelation to do this. So in this Jalsa, when you are there, it is my humble request to you all that please try your best to maintain discipline. And when you are there, try your best that to greet each and everyone and give smile, even you know someone or you don't know. And the important things that don't forget, there we have so many exhibitions. Please go and watch them, because there is big information and knowledge, and even that is a history of Jamaat Ahmadiyya. You can see there from the beginning up to end. So by the grace of Allah, so blissful Jalsa we are just welcoming after 3 days. It is great blessing that we have once again in our life this Jalsa. So my humble request to you all, please pray for the success of Jalsa, and those members they will come to participate, pray for them that Allah bless them abundantly in all means. And especially we have to pray for the Khalifatul Masih Ayyadullah Ta'ala bin Aziz. These days they are not easy. He has a lot of work. So please pray for his health and pray for his good work. Ameen. May Allah help us. May Allah be with us each and every time. Jazakumullah Ta'ala wa asnul jaza.
Thank you very much, Maulana Ijaz Ahmad Sahib from Uganda, and we have really enjoyed that lecture. It was wonderful, wonderful. I can say that by the time we reach the gathering or the UK Jalsa Salana, we are now equipped with a lot of knowledge about Jalsa Salana. Maulana Sahib has addressed a number of issues, especially concerning the purpose of Jalsa Salana. That is, he said that according to the Promised Messiah, the purpose of Jalsa Salana is that to increase or strengthen one's communion with Allah the Almighty. Then another objective of the Jalsa Salana is to pray for those members of the community who have passed away, and also to meet new members and strengthen that bond of brotherhood. And also he has talked about another objective of Jalsa Salana, that is to increase our spirituality. And most importantly, what I've also noted here is that when he mentioned that Hadhrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, he prayed for those people who are traveling and who have dedicated their time to go and attend the Jalsa Salana. And he mentioned in the prayer that Hadhrat Masih Maud alayhi salam prayed for them that God should protect them during their journey and even after their journey. So this is a great blessing of Jalsa Salana and a great blessing of Khilafat. Thank you, you who has been following us right now since we started our lecture. I feel that we cannot go beyond here. Time cannot allow us. Just what we keep encouraging you is subscribe, share the links of such lectures, and also if you have any comment you can send in, or if you have any question you can ask. Thank you for watching Sami Wabasir Uganda. This is all time could allow us. Allow me end here. I have been your host, Nahoho Rashid Matselede. God bless you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all.
लोगों सुनो के जिंदा खुदा वो खुदा नहीं। लोगों सुनो के जिंदा खुदा वो खुदा नहीं, जिसमें हमें शहादत कुदरत नुमा नहीं, जिसमें हमें शहादत कुदरत नुमा नहीं। क्या जिंदगी का ज़ौक़ अगर वो नहीं मिला, क्या जिंदगी का ज़ौक़।
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما